Here's a devotional moment. The angel, as you can underline it here, note takers, was made bright with his glory. His glory refers to God, not his own glory. And as you read it in the Greek, it's written in the passive, meaning this, that the angel didn't go like this, clap on, blim, like he didn't turn on like that. He didn't have a light switch to go, oh, look at this world. No, he had the presence of God impact him physically in such a way that could illumine a whole entire dark and chaotic world. Now, we see another example of this in the Old Testament. You remember in Exodus chapter 34, verse 29, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with 2 tablets of testimony in his hand, as he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that his skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. Now, in California, we call this the Chicano glory, right? Yeah, but in Hebrew, it's the Shekinah glory. Okay. He was illumined. Thank you. Yeah, he was illumined by being in the presence of God. Now, we can see by him having this physical implication right here, and the angel as well having that physical implication of shining. Why? Because he was in the presence of God. And even though Satan is a fallen angel, he still can masquerade himself as an image of light. Yet once again, Satan cannot produce the light. That light comes from the glory of God. So here's the question I had as I was studying this. Okay, let me reenact it. Oh, okay, this is what I was thinking, okay? For the angel that was supercharged, you can say in a way, by being in the presence of God, I wonder if that charge would diminish over time. You ever think about that? Because here's the reason why I argue that. I want you to think about this real quick, okay? Because even for Moses, who was in the presence of God himself, had his face illuminated, and yet it would fade over time. In fact, in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 12 through 13, it says this, since we have such a glorious hope and confident expectation, we speak with great courage. We are not like Moses. He used to put on a veil over his face so that the Israelites would not gaze at the end of the glory which was fading away. It was believed that Moses' face began to fade and lose the glow, and he would put a veil over his face as possibly to not discourage the Israelites. Like if the Israelites see that, you know how fickle they were if you read the Old Testament. Wow, God is with us. Oh wait, he's not with us? Like let's go back to Egypt and die, right? You remember that. So why would it fade? It may have faded, to protect Moses once again, but also to protect his pride. Like Moses couldn't be like, oh, look at me, guys, I'm shining all bright. Some scholars believe that it would serve to be symbolic, as God would conceal his glory as he would provide the law. I'll break it down for you in case I lose you. Look at this. In 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 14 through 16. But their minds were hardened, for to this day, when they read the old covenant, the same veil remains unlifted, because only through Christ is it taken away. Yes, to this day, whenever Moses is read, a veil lies over their hearts. But when one turns to the Lord, the veil is removed. Now, in Paul's day, the Jews couldn't see the fading glory of Moses' ministry. Because in Paul's day, it was Moses, 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 circumcision, circumcision, circumcision. It was a horrible time to be a man. Okay. But they were veiled. They were blinded from the world beyond of what Moses did. Paul would stress this point once again in Galatians, as people would struggle to believe. They'll say, wait, hold on, but Moses said 613 laws. You're just saying believe in Jesus? Like, okay, what if we cut ourselves and then believe in Jesus? Like, they were really struggling. Like, I just need some fire insurance here, man. But look at this. Isn't that true today? For both Jews and non-Jews, people who are blinded to the saving grace of Jesus. Like, okay, but I need Jesus, but maybe I need Buddha too. I need Jesus, but maybe astrology, because astrology makes me feel better, right? I need Jesus, but maybe I need to be my own sufficiency, right? I need to depend on me, nobody else. Right? Like, you know people like that? But here he says this, no, look, when you turn to Jesus, That's the only way the veil will be taken away. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17 through 18 says this, "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another, for this comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." Okay, I'm gonna land the plane on this point. You're gonna love this. Okay, you guys, look at this. Unveiled faces. This doesn't mean that you and I are gonna shine physically like Moses or that angel, but the presence of the Lord continually shines upon us, that we can be in it and that we can live in it and we can shine it to other people as well. And the impact is that this, not only do we get that light and that good feeling from Jesus, but we get to be transformed from glory to glory into the image, not of a cookie cutter Christian, but in the image of King Jesus. Can you imagine that, chat? You looking like Jesus? Miracles can happen, bro. All right. But can you imagine for your own life being, yeah, Jesus having hair. For those online, Chet is bald. But can you imagine being transformed to the extent that you too can enter a dark and broken, angry and hopeless world? That you too, as you put your trust in Jesus and you take the veil of self-sufficiency, you take the veil of idolatry off of you, you take the veil of self-righteousness off of you and you live in his grace, can you imagine how you will illumine your dark worlds around you? Your neighborhood, your family, your job. And once again, it's not like, clicking the switch like, haha, I'm gonna turn it on for Jesus. It's like, no, it's from being with Jesus you shine. Here's one more thought for you, because I don't want this to be just a good thought, but look at this. God is working in you and through you. And every single person, I need to hear a big amen on this one. Every single person here is a work under construction. Amen, right? By the mighty hand of God, that there is still light. Maybe you might feel that you have a very small light. This little light of mine, right? It's very small. But look at this. A small flashlight, a night light, even the smallest lights are brightest where it's most dark. I have this picture right here for you real quick. Now, this little light has a little shine, a little bit brighter than you have Mike Deacon right here, right? Okay. But I want to encourage you, no matter where you might find yourself in the spectrum of transformation, God is faithful to take you from glory to glory to glory to glory. That God is working with you. And he says, hey, I'm working on you not for you to turn off your light. I want you to shine it no matter how bright it may be or how little bright it may be you may feel. Now, let me be honest with you guys. I want to share a quick little story with you. Now, back in the day, I knew I wanted to be a pastor, right? I'm just kidding. No, I wanted to serve. I wanted to learn how to serve people. And what better way to serve people than being a waiter? Any waiters here? No? Okay, don't. Okay, now, as a waiter, I would have some hard days. You know, and the hardest part as a waiter is that you had to put a smile on your face no matter what, because you would get tipped, right? No matter how funny you are, how great you are, how fast you are, and they would find any reason to not tip you, right? Like the food wasn't at 76 degrees. It's not my fault, right? And so I remember working at this one restaurant and I was having a horrible day. And I remember one of my constant customers would always come in, sit at the same booth. I would take care of her, but for 3 years. And I was about to leave my job and go to Bible college, so I don't know anything about the Bible. I just know I love Jesus. And I kept serving this lady, and she asked me that last night at work, she said this, why are you leaving? Why are you going? I'm going to go learn more about Jesus. And I admit, guys, I was a little embarrassed. Like, I'm going to learn about Jesus. Please don't let it affect my tip. And I remember her sitting there, and she started to tear up a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm going to get her an extra piece of pie. And so, eat her emotions, And so I gave it to her, and now, tears are just falling. She's like, I'm going to miss you so much. Oh, my gosh. I'm like, okay, this is a little weird. And then she said something that she's never asked me in the past 3 years. And she said this, can I give you a hug? Yeah, sure, okay. No problem, okay, yeah. And I wasn't thinking that much of it because I'm not thinking about Jesus. I'm not thinking about some theological idea. I'm not thinking about evangelism. I'm thinking about what? My tip. I'm in the flesh, y'all. And so she comes up and she's still crying and she holds me and she starts squeezing me so tight. And she said something to me that put a big reality check. And she said this: you have no idea how much joy I had coming and sitting in your section every single time I came here. I lost a child. I went through a divorce. I lost my business. But I always saw your face, and you always had a smile on it. And she held me even tighter, and she said this, it humbles me. That's why I share this part. I'm not bragging. I felt like dirt. And here's why. She said this: I feel like I'm hugging Jesus. Okay. And I want to encourage you once again, as I talked about the different lights, I did not feel like this at all. I felt like my light was off. I'm working here. Jesus is here. Work is here. I'm compartmentalizing here, right? I'm being professional. But guys, I want to encourage you, shine your light because you never know who needs it most. And that light will shine to Jesus.